Assalamu alaikum. My name is Professor Dr. Rashid Zia. Uh, we're going to discuss today diphtheria. Uh, as you know, um, it is a common disease in children, and few years ago we had an epidemic in Lahore. The diphtheria vaccine is available, and it is a part of a penta vaccine which is given to every child, uh, three doses at the age of 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks. So we will start with tonsillitis because diphtheria can give you a picture like tonsillitis. So tonsillitis is basically is an inflammation of the tonsils, most commonly caused by viral or bacterial infection. And symptoms of tonsillitis include sore throat and fever. Under normal circumstances, as viruses and bacteria enter the body through the nose and mouth, and they are filtered in the tonsils. Within the tonsils, white blood cells of the immune system mount an attack that helps destroy the viruses or bacteria by producing inflammatory cytokines like phospholipase. Phospholipase A2, which also lead to fever. The infection may also be present in the throat and surrounding areas, causing inflammation of the pharynx. This is the area in the back of the tonsils. There are different types of tonsillitis, like primary tonsillitis. The most common cause is group A beta hemolytic streptococcus, which causes strep throat. Less common bacterial causes include Staphylococcus aureus, including methicillin-resistant Staph aureus, which is also known as MRSA. Then the second variety is secondary tonsillitis. The most common causes of tonsillitis are adenovirus, rhinovirus, influenza, coronavirus, and respiratory syncytial virus. It can also be caused by Epstein-Barr virus, herpes simplex virus, and cytomegalovirus. Then there is a third variety which is known as a specific tonsillitis. Sometimes tonsillitis is caused by an infection of spirochetes and treponema, in this case called Vincent's angina or Plato-Vincent angina. Sometimes the tonsillitis caused by the fungi, especially if there is a immunocompromised or if the child is on immune therapy or on steroids. And sometimes tonsillitis, luckily rarely caused by the Corynebacterium diphtheria, which is the main topic we're going to discuss today. Acute disease from the group of respiratory infection which characterized by the fibrinous inflammation of mucous membrane of the oral cavity, nasopharynx, larynx with the toxic lesions of cardiovascular and nervous system. In this specific type of tonsillitis, there is a membranous formed on the tonsils and the peritonsillar area, and it also secretes toxin which can affect the cardiovascular and the nervous system of the body. These are the This is a slide of the Corynebacterium uh, diphtheria, also known as Leffler rod. They are gram-positive, non-motile. They don't form spores and capsules, and they're colored by Neisseria in brown-yellow color. Blood agar with Ethereum salts also can culture. They culture biochemical types of Corynebacterium Corynebacterium diphtheria are the Mitis gravis and the intermediate variety. The production of a very strong exotoxin, which is called as genotox plus. The structure of exotoxin is dermatonecrotoxin, hemolysin, neuraminidase, and hyaluronidase. Firm to low temperature, long, safe on a dry surface, high response to heating and disinfection solutions. The source of the infection is a sick person or a carrier of a diphtheria of a toxogenic strain. The ways of transmission are airborne when the patient with the diphtheria can sneeze or cough, or when there is a contact with the household like tissue papers or anything which is used by that patient. So the basic transmission is through droplets. It is sensitive to high. Adults more often become sick 80% of cases. Case rate is sporadic. Outbreaks are possible. Amino-dense antitoxic post-vaccine. Seasonal character is usually in autumn and winter. There are epidemics of diphtheria. These are the areas where diphtheria cases reported to the World Health authorities, and you can say the red areas are where is the common, and the intermediate areas are brown, and the areas in are which are very few cases of diphtheria in North America and also in Australia and South America, because they have a very good system of vaccination. Similarly, in Europe also, they all areas are diphtheria free. Pathogenesis is the penetration of the agent through entrance gate, which is the mucus of upper respiratory tract, sometimes conjunctiva and skin, also be a portal of entry of the bacteria. There is a production of exotoxin, local and the systemic effects of the toxin. The dermonecrotoxin toxin necrosis of the surface epithelium, retardation of the bloodstream, rising of a permeability of vessels, their fragility, transduction of plasma in the ambulatory tissues, formation of a fibrinous film, edema of tissue, downstrokes of the pain sensitivity. Then the neuroimmunidase, replacement of the cytochrome, blockage of a cellular respiration, destruction of a cell, violation of a function of organ and tissue, central and peripheral nervous system, cardiovascular system, and the kidneys are the most commonly involved systems of the body. Hyaluronidase causes destruction of a stroma of a connecting tissue, rising of the permeability of the vessels, and edema of the tissues as a result. Hemolysin causes hemorrhagic set of symptoms due to the toxin of the bacteria. The classification of the diphtheria can be a localization, which is otopharynx, nose, larynx, trachea, and bronchi. Rare localization is the skin and the eye. Degree of severity can be mild, moderate, severe, hemorrhagic, and hypertoxic. Form localized, widespread, combined. Nature of process catarrhal island-like paleocytosis. Complications. Diphtheria can cause myocarditis, neuritis, nephritis, early and late, and subclinical when there is a carrier of the disease. Clinical manifestations of the disease of the diphtheria is incubation period is 2 to 10 days. Phenomena of intoxication causes high fever, malaise, generalized weakness, headache. Pharyngogalia causes can be a moderate. Changes of a throat mucus result in a soft hyperemia, edema of the tonsils, cover on their surface, gray color, dense, hard to remove with a bleeding and slime, spread out of tonsils limits, palatopharyngeal arches, uvula, and soft palate. The membrane can be over tonsils or it spread beyond tonsils and involve the palatopharyngeal arches, uvula, and soft palate, and it is difficult to remove, and if you remove them with force it leads to ulceration and bleeding, augmentation and moderate morbidness of the regional lymph nodes. The cervical lymph nodes may be palpable, edema of a hypodermic fat of a neck. I will show you the slide of the throat which shows the membrane. This is inside the throat and the membrane is laying over the tonsils and the uvula and the peritonsillar areas, and it is difficult to remove this membrane, and the child is quite toxic. I'll show you the diagram. You can see the face of the child. It is quite toxic looking, and there is a swelling of the hypodermic area and around the neck, and the child looks quite unwell. This is another gun which shows the swollen neck in the diphtheria. All the neck, around the neck is a swelling, and there is also a palpable cervical lymph nodes. This is a photograph of a nasal diphtheria, and it can be entered through this part of the body. This is the diphtheria of the nose. And then there is another variety when it involves the skin. It causes the diphtheria skin lesions on the leg. So although it is rare, the the lesions on the skin, the eye, and the nose are rare as compared to the lesions on the tonsillar and peritonsillar areas. As I mentioned, the severity in the widespread is the combined hypertoxical hemorrhagic forms, toxicosis 1, 2, and 3, edema of the neck, hypodermic tissues, paleness of the skin, cyanosis of the lips, decreasing of arterial pressure, tachycardia, and decreasing of a body temperature. So these are all signs related to the exotoxins created by the bacteria of the forming bacteria of diphtheria, and it leads to generalized shock like picture. Diphtheria of the larynx can cause croup, where there is a stenosis of the larynx. In the first degree, it is a catarrhal, labored inspiration, retraction of the intercostal space, rasping, dog barking, cough, hoarse voice. In second degree, there is a stenosis with a noisy respiration, inspiratory dyspnea with an elongated inspiration, participation in respiration of auxiliary muscles, and aphonia. In the third degree, which is an asphyxia, then acute oxygen insufficiency, sleeplessness, cyanosis, cold sweats, cramps, and paradoxical sigmogus. You can see the picture of a child in which there is a respiratory difficulty due to the involvement of the trachea, and there are the larynx, and there is a intercostal and subcostal recession, and there is a stridor, and the child has severe difficulty in breathing. The complications of the diphtheria are due to the toxin, which is an infectious or toxic shock-like syndrome, intravascular disseminated syndrome. It can lead to myocarditis, which can be an early or a late feature, and they involve the nerves, which leads to polyradiculoneuritis, which can also be like myocarditis, an early or a late feature, and it can involve the kidney, which leads to nephritis. The diagnosis of the diphtheria is by the detection of the agent in smears from a throat and the nose, taking of the material on border between affected area and the normal mucus, microscopically coloring by the Neisseria, typical locating of rods, grains of volatility in bacteria, showing unconvolute serum or direct blood agar for allocation of clean culture and recognizing of the toxigenicity. Serological tests are test mirror a condition of immune defense or efficacy of the vaccination. I have shown you the rods of new bacteria diphtheria. These are the agar plates where you can grow, and the colonies are like these rods. Treatment, it is a serious condition, so whenever you see a child with a suspected case of a diphtheria, you have to immediately hospitalize the patient. There is a bed regime at localized form 10 days, at toxic not less than 35 to 45 days. Specific treatment includes the introduction of antitoxin, anti-diphtheриal serum from 30 to 50,000 international units at the localized form, up to 100 to 120,000 international units at toxic form, glucocorticoids in toxic forms, and in croup, antibiotics like benzyl penicillin, tetracycline, erythromycin in toxic form in case of croup, inhalation, bronchiolitis, diuretics, glucocorticoids, antibiotics, antihistamine, lytic admixture under the indication may needs intubation or sometimes tracheostomy if there is a severe difficulty in breathing. When the patient recover, you you discharge from the hospital. It must be a negative result of the bacteriological throat swab, and child is clinically better as far as the blood pressure, respiratory rate, heart rate, and oxygen saturation. As you know, the there is a planned immunization, and in Pakistan, uh, as a as recommended by the WHO also, which is a part of the extended program of immunization. We gave 3 doses of diphtheria vaccine at the age of 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks, and we also gave prophylactic uh, immunization as a booster dose at the age between 18 months and 24 months. The differential diagnosis, you have to differentiate diphtheria from the other causes of tonsillitis, like um, tonsillitis including a Plato-Vincent infection, herpes tonsillitis, adenovirus infection, false croup, paratonsillar abscess, infectious mononucleosis, scarlet fever, pseudotuberculosis, tonsillo-bubonic form of tularemia, mycotic infection of tonsils, epidemic parotitis, typhoid fever, Lewis, hematological diseases like acute leukocytosis, agranulocytosis. Sometimes they can present with a sore throat. There are a few slides which showing the acute tonsillitis with this membrane, or sometimes this is a picture of a follicular tonsillitis. This is another picture which shows the membrane, but it is easy to remove this membrane as compared to diphtheria when they are difficult to remove the membrane. Really common symptoms of tonsillitis give you sore throat, red swollen tonsils, pain when swallowing, high temperature, fever, cough, headache, tiredness, chills, a general sense of feeling unwell, white pus-filled spots on the tonsillar, which is a common feature of follicular tonsillitis, swollen lymph nodes, glands in the neck, pain in the ear, sometimes it is a referred pain, and pain on the neck, and changes to voice if there is involvement of the larynx. Thank you very much. I hope this will give you some help to understand the diphtheria infection, which is a very serious infection in children. And luckily, we have see very few cases of diphtheria because of the routine vaccination which we give as a part of our vaccination program. And the best treatment is the prevention. And we give 3 doses as a primary vaccination at the age of 6 weeks, 10 weeks, and 14 weeks, and then booster between 18 months and 24 months. Um, we need to keep the diphtheria antitoxin available around the year, because you never know when you will get an epidemic of diphtheria. Because when we have a epidemic last time, there was no diphtheria antitoxin available, and by the time the the antitoxin was available, there were so many deaths as already occurred. Uh, Thank you very much. If you have any question, please send me an email. My email address is rzia56 at hotmail.com, or you can phone me. My mobile number is 0300 844 0973. Thank you very much.